My video article this week is over a article that was written in the fall of 2009, had four different authors: Holloway, Evers, Chiodo, and John Jay. And the name of my article is Social Studies is Being Taught in Elementary Schools. And the main reason that I chose this was because I still do feel that it is being taught. Now, do I feel that it's being taught to what it should be? Not necessarily, but I do still feel that it is being taught. Uh, so in this article that I read, the author or authors found three main reasons that teachers who are in the field today, the reasons they don't feel that it's being taught. And that is, teachers report not having enough time because of standardized testing, which is understandable. I get that. And they did a study that was taken by Marzano in 2003, and it established that teachers can cover 3,093 benchmarks in a year, and that requires 15,500 hours of teaching. And in a 180-day school year, which is about average, teachers only teach for about 9,000 hours, and so there you can see that huge gap of time needed and of time that they actually get to teach. And that's if there aren't any snow days or there aren't any cancellations. The second one is, of course, standardized testing is limiting them, and that it just isn't important, which that blows my mind. I think it's necessarily one of the more important ones because our lives are so built around our government, our history, what it is about America that makes us great, and for us to say that it's just not important is kind of offensive to me. Of the lower grades, teachers feel pressured into teaching language arts and reading because of the test. And I don't feel that as a teacher we should ever be pressured into doing something, but sadly I understand that that's the problem nowadays, and so that's a problem that I'm going to have to deal with whenever I become a teacher, a year or two down the road. There was also a study done by Wade in 2007, and it says 75 to 90% of social studies is book work. Students don't learn and understand things when all they do is read out of the book. And so I've come up with three different things, not necessarily things that I have chosen, but three concepts that from this article and just from all my classes that I've had, I've put together these three things that I think might help whenever I become a teacher on me being able to teach social studies more and get my students more excited about social studies. So the first thing is I want to integrate all of my subjects. One of the big problems is we focus so much time on one subject that it takes over everything. Studies show integrating learning gives students more will to learn, and they understand the stuff better. So I can integrate reading and science, social studies and reading, and there's so many more that I could list off, but those are just making sure that I integrate several different types of subjects, not just social studies. I think will get my students to learn and focus better on what I'm actually teaching. Second, I gotta make the material more relatable to their lives. Like I said, social studies is so broad. We can think about like the presidential race and everything that just happened a year ago. Social studies, they could learn so much about that stuff, and they would want to learn it because it's important to them and it's happening in their country. So if I can relate those things back to them, I think they'll want to learn more, and I think that it'll hold their attention more. And finally, conceptual learning. I need to integrate concepts with social studies. And so I feel like if those three things can be done, and I can figure out how to do all three of those things, I still think that I can make social studies such a big part of my teaching experience, and I think my kids will learn so much better.